Okay. So, Om Shanti, everyone. And today it's my great pleasure in this living yagya that we have been holding since the beginning of the pandemic. This is a space for you all to know Baba's amazing jewels, our seniors, the daddies, brothers, and sisters who have created the foundation of the yagya. And today we have a very, very special brother with us, Jewel, Dr. Pratap. He is the current director of the Global Hospital, but has a very interesting story, and he has been with Baba for more than 50 years. So I met Dr. Pratap many, many years ago. And the vision I hold of you is you coming every day after, around lunchtime, you would go to Nirvai's office and together you would walk to the dining room. I know you were very, very close to Nirvai, so you can also tell us a little bit about the relationship that brought you together and how Baba made you instruments for this amazing hospital. So, welcome, Dr. Pratap, to our Living Yagya. This is for the countries in Latin America. So, every Thursday, we come together in this space. So, we would very, very much like to know your life story. So, do tell us, how did Baba find you?
Thank you, Sister Moira, and Om Shanti. And I'm very happy to be with you all, brothers and sisters, the divine family in Latin America. And I've seen Moira always very energetic, smiling, busy with Baba's service. Whenever she is in Madhuban, we definitely meet, sometimes in Madhuban, sometimes in Pandavan, and other times in hospital also. So it's a great privilege. I feel very good and feel delighted to be interacting with you. My journey began much, much long ago. That was my first introduction with the BKs was with my parents. We used to be in Gurgaon, which is now Gurugram, where the ORC is situated close to that. I was in the fifth standard in the school. So my parents took me to the Brahma Kumari centers. I still recollect the first thing which I heard was that God has come, descended on this earth in the form of a simple Brahman, and he's asking us to quit our bad habits, our vices. This is what I didn't even understand at that time what vices were. But that was my schooling. And the next year we were transferred to Chandigarh, which is the capital of Punjab. Then it used to be Punjab. And my father, because he was into Baba's Gyan, he took his house, he rented a house which was close to the center. So as a child, I would go to the center, enjoy the toli there and sit there and listen to Murli. I would pick up some things. Some of the things which I picked up
How
was
old were
very,
you? How old were
I
you?
was around 11 or 12, I think
Oh
11.
my goodness.
Uh,
So
And I would
beautiful.
help sisters with petty tasks, go to the market and buy something for them. So that was my beginning in the yagya.
So beautiful. And then when did you surrender? Then you studied for medicine.
Well, those days the family was small, and sisters would tell us to write letters to Baba. So as a child, we would write letter to Baba. One of the replies I still remember, because those days it was something like everyone would say, you why do you want to study? You should be with Baba. So I wrote a letter to Baba, Sakar Baba, and I just shared with him that I have an eager desire to study, become something, and then I can serve the Baba. And Baba wrote me back, and I received that children, child, you must study, but keep it in mind that you have to glorify both the fathers. Those are the lines which I still remember. I received that letter from Baba. So then I got busy with my studies, completed my school, but I used to participate in service ventures, would go and give small lecture as a child, and even help in organizing exhibition. I remember all those days, those were, kind of just you would enjoy being present in the center.
Beautiful, beautiful. So how old were you when you surrendered?
Well, that's much later. Then,
Much
then
later.
I went to study medicine. I was there, even while I was studying medicine, I would take time off to go and help in Seva in the close by centers. You know, Sometimes I would be discouraged. People would say those days it was at 1976, the world would come to an end. That was the
Yes,
so I would think, why I'm studying? Why should I spend time doing hard work? But then there would be people who would encourage me and would say, okay, you study, you'll be doing wonderful service as a doctor. So I continued and passed out in 73. And then I did my 1 year residency in ophthalmology in eye. But then again, I wanted to study further. But then I thought, no, now I must say goodbye to study. And I quietly went and joined with the government of Haryana. And in a small village, I started doing my practice. That was in 1975. And
wow.
till then, I was in touch with the sisters. One of the things which I can never forget is that sister in charge of Chandigarh Center. She's no more now, and her name is Achal bhen. She used to write me a letter every fortnight when I was in the hostel studying medicine
Wow.
in a far off place that was almost 200 kilometers from Chandigarh. And the most of the it would be Baba's Murli points, encouraging me to study, focus on my own progress, all that. Even in the hostel, I was known to be someone different. I had no connection. In the sense, superficially, I was friend with
Yeah,
everyone, but I had no kind of any affinity with
connection.
anyone.
Yeah.
So I finished my medicine. I was, initially it was very tough eating the same meal. People would take non-vegetarian stuff and you were sitting on the same table. And then I had to give gyan to my cook. And, he was a widower. He started cooking separately for me. And, I was known as the Pika doctor, means the bland doctor who doesn't want to eat any spices. That's what I had to tell them. So, but then many people joined me because in India, the Jains also don't eat onion and garlic. So when they
Right.
came to know that my food is without onion and garlic and without spice, they joined me. So ultimately, we had a separate table for us. But
Nice.
after I finished medicine, then I started cooking my own meals.
Good. Lovely, lovely. And so, Dr. Pratap, you met Brahma Baba personally.
No, I didn't meet because,
Oh,
I I would not say it was not for my drama. A couple of times I thought over, there were invitation, but I couldn't make it. And when I first time
okay.
went to the center, Madhuban, when I came, that was 1970. The first remark which I heard is still very fresh in my memory. I met Didi, Manmohini Didi. She said, "You have dishonored yourself
Oh,
by coming so late," because she knew
oh,
my parents very well.
oh,
And, in Hindi, she said, and I was shocked. Then it was
oh.
a kind of awakening for me that I missed so much. But then
Well,
it's drama, you missed it,
yeah,
not
yeah.
knowingly, but unknowingly.
Right, right. But anyway, you met all the daddies, so you really got the
Yes, dadis
sustenance.
I met Mama
Yes.
also. And when
Right.
Mama came to Chandigarh, I had to find an excuse to go in her presence. So I said, Mama, I told my sisters I want to give a lecture on who's the sermonizer of Gita. So I memorized a lecture. Then I was maybe about 13 or 14. So I memorized the lecture and then I gave in presence of Mama that lecture that
Really?
Shibaba is the sermonizer of Gita. And Mama
Wow.
took me into her lap and I had Toli. That was the experience. I didn't really know that, this would be a one kind of experience. Thereafter, I didn't even meet Mama because when I was still in school, then I came to know Mama left the body. That was, I think, 65 or 65.
Right, right. You're still a
Mm.
boy. You're still a boy.
Mm.
Wow, how amazing, how fortunate. But then you had, so when did you go to the global hospital? Tell us a little bit how that story started for you and for the Yagya.
See, it's a very, I would say, Amazing story. I was a good doctor. I was from that village hospital. I was transferred to a bigger city hospital. And I was very popular with the patients because I would listen to them with attention. I was working in emergency where people would come always in distress. But suddenly in 79, it was, no, it's 79 I came to Chandigarh, the capital city. And then in 83, one day I was called to the office of the director and they told me that you need to move to management. I said, I know nothing about management. I've never worked. I'm only a doctor. But they said, no, no, you join us. We'll teach you how to do management. And then they even promised that in 6 months they'll find someone to replace me. So I said, okay. I took it as a challenge in 6 months. And then it was 8 years. They never relieved me till I came to Abu. So
Wow.
I was, I would say it was divine design. I had no
Yeah,
interest in management. But then
right.
the 8 years which I spent in management, that really inspired Nivebai to invite me to come and manage the hospital. So
Wow.
I then I when I
Incredible.
look back, now I understand why I was pushed into management. So
Amazing.
that
Yeah.
is how the story goes.
Mm.
And I
So,
came to Mount Abu to manage the hospital in 91. August 91, I came here. We commissioned the hospital in October 91. And since then, I've been here.
amazing.
35 years, 36 years I've been here.
Amazing. And Dr.
Mm.
Pratap, can you tell us, because many of our family listening to you now, um, they haven't been to Madhuban or may not have heard of the history of how did our hospital come about?
Well, this story is '89. I think it was summer months in '89 when I called up Nivebai. He was convalescing in Mumbai. He had his bypass surgery, heart surgery he had. So I called him to just ask him. I had been friendly with Nivebai when I came to Abu in 1970. Then I
Yeah.
used to sit with him. That was only small group was there, so we used to have meal together. I would share my experiences of medical school, and so we became friends. We used to communicate. Every time I would come to Madhuban, I'll meet him. But then '89, when I came to know that he's not well and he had his surgery, so I called him, and the first thing which he told me, quit your job in Punjab and come to Madhuban. We are starting a hospital.
Wow.
So then it was in '89 he asked me, but then I took 2 years to come because I was thinking something should be ready and I should be ready to move. But finally, I came in August 91, and it was on invitation of Baba, Dadi, and Nivebai. They said, okay. And I used to participate in meetings during that time. There used to be meetings about hospital which would happen. I know initially Dadi was not in favor of having a hospital, but Baba said that it is the right thing to do in the given situation at that time. And the
Wow.
purpose was that, not only Yajna Nivasis, but even for the local community, they wanted to start a hospital so that we could give them something back because they were not close to us. They were not even, some people were not in favor of Brahma Kumaris. I remember even after coming, once the Brahma Baba's stamp was being released, the whole town got opposed it. They even took out a procession raising slogans against that. So,
Wow.
because after we started the hospital, started serving the local people started coming, visiting hospital, the doctors were there, helping them, surgeries were happening, all that was happening. This is how they came close, and this is how the whole scenario changed. But the hospital has done wonderful service not only for the local community but for visiting guests and for the Madhuban Nivasis. And it was for me. It was a kind of a opportunity to be close to dadis, listen to them, go and share with them my difficulties. Dadi would listen with prompt attention, and during the early days, Dadi would just walk into hospital without any notice, and we would sit around Dadi even during the working time, listen to her. Dadi would share her experiences, how the yajna started, how it was tiny and how it has grown now. Dadi once shared, because when we were living here, there was no specific accommodation. We were sharing accommodation. And sometimes we would have difficulty adjusting with each other. Dadi once shared that, Mohini Ben and Dadi used to live together. When I'm saying Dadi, Dadi means Dadi ji, Dadi
Daddy
Prakashmani.
Prakashmani. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So Dadi said we live together. Mohini Ben doesn't require fan, and I doesn't requires fan, and I don't require fan. So I moved my bed to one corner. And she says, sometimes I awake during the middle of the night. Then I feel like reading Murli. So I kept a small torch close to my bed so that I can read the Murli with the torch. So Dadi
Yeah,
said, this is how you can look after each. She gave her example. So it was such a
yeah,
learning. Small things make a lot of difference. How Dadi was caring, how she was, kind of would give full attention to us because we were new to the yajna. So she paid a lot of attention and love and care to us.
right, right. And then also, Brother Niver was very, very committed to the hospital. Remember, it was
Niveba
really,
used to come every day to the center and to the hospital every day without fail. He would come and meet everyone. That was his kind of a ritual which he would follow, come
yeah,
around 10 o'clock, come and meet everyone, ask everyone. When we started the hospital, we were just 30, and now we are
wow,
almost 600. So
wow,
it was a small beginning. So anyway,
wow,
we would pay attention. He helped us to evolve. He used to take suggestions, inputs, how we should improve, what should be added. Like that, gradually we added. 91 when we started, we just had outpatient clinics and a
right,
small operation theater, which we were using sparingly because we used to depend on visiting doctors. But then in
right.
95, we had full-fledged place. And this is how the Seva picked up and everyone started availing the facilities in the hospital.
Yeah, I remember the time. I love that hospital. I really love Global Hospital, and I have taken so many guests, from Latin America, both to meet you, but also with Peace of Mind. For years, we've taken the guests, and at the beginning, we only saw people, in the first part of the hospital, where all the doctors' offices are, but then. Um, Now I see at the beginning there wasn't so many local people coming, and I imagine it must have been a time of a little resistance of the community towards us, no, until they kind of came to know that this was a genuine, generous offer of the Brahma Kumaris to the community itself, right? And now it's so beautiful when we walk in, and it's as if people own it. It's everyone's hospital, the families, the Indians, the foreigners, everybody comes. It's such a unique hospital, really, really. And I know you reach out to the mountains. Can you tell us a little bit about that aspect of reaching out to people who are extremely poor?
See, I agree with you. It's a unique hospital because not only we offer them medicine, but we also offer them psychological support. We offer them positive thinking, meditation. Then we have Ayurveda, we have magnet therapy and homeopathy, all those things we have. But over and above that, we decided that people who cannot reach us, we should reach out to them. And one remarkable person in the family was Dr. Vinay Lakshmi. She did wonders. She would not take care of herself and she would go to the villages without fail. And she was the one who initiated the outreach activity. Initially, even when the hospital was being built, she would go to the workers who were working at the site, look after them. And then she started move. Once the hospital was started, she started moving out. Now we have three mobile clinics. There are three doctors. We cover almost 100 villages. And basically, it is looking after their primary health care, also educating them, and also holding outreach activity like educating. Sometimes the gynecologist would go, sometimes the eye technician would go, sometimes the dentist would go. Like this is providing them total care. And now they come to hospital without any hesitation. Initially, for them, it was kind of hesitation. They have never been exposed to modern care. So, they used to go to their local quacks or what they call bhopas, and they go to them and they would get some treatment. When they would become, the condition would deteriorate, then they would come back to us. But now they could take it as the first connection they come to us. And
Nice.
during this course, we opened up a small hospital in the foothills also, which was known as the Modi Hospital. And then we opened up an eye hospital. Then we started a trauma unit. Like that, the hospital has been growing. And now in the foothills, and now recently we started a breast cancer screening center close to Shantivan, for particularly for sisters. And then we have trauma center, eye hospital, and also have a nursing college. And in 2011, we also started an old age home for senior citizen. Most of it are is BK brothers and sisters who feel lonely at other places, so they have come and there are about 100 occupants. There's 60 rooms, so it's also doing good service.
Nice, nice. Amazing. Dr. Pratap, it's so amazing to see. I was there when they laid the foundation stone and Mr.
Hmm.
Watamul came. It's such an amazing story, and how Dr. Ashok Mehta had this idea with his daughter doing creating the project so that whereby could present something to Watamul. It's just a magical plan of Baba, really, and how it has inspired so many professionals from around the world, from around
Hmm.
India, and it's had its own little children down the
Hmm.
mountains. So it's really amazing. Now, what is your secret, Dr. Pratap? I see you, and I know you are seen by everybody as someone who is very, very peaceful, someone who is incredibly balanced. Now, what kind of efforts do you do? Because a hospital is not just any place to be where you have this spiritual full Brahmin life, and yet you are in a career, you're in a professional life as well. And you're leading an organization with BKs and non-BKs. So what is your secret? How do you keep yourself balanced?
Well, seva is one part, but the personal life is the primary part, I would say. It is, looking after your own self or self-care, what we call. That is, the is primary thing, which I feel in coming to Madhuban has been a blessing. A kind of attending daily morning class, having Amrit Vela, and focusing on your personal growth and development, because that is what I would say as a Brahman our responsibility is. Baba says that you may not speak anything, but your face should serve to the people. And when managing BKs, I would honestly say it has not been an easy learning for me. Managing a BKs requires a lot of patience. You need to understand everyone so well, because when you are working together, you are all leaders. People had given up their practices. Some people had, as they were very well established there, and then they came here. Now, you need to carry everyone along. I remember Brian Bacon once did a course with us, and he said, "All of you are leaders, no one is a follower." And it's a learning experience, because when you were working in a public hospital where everyone used to respect you and everyone would look at to you with an awe, because you are a BK, you are a Brahma Kumar, and everyone would know what is your culture. But here everyone is initially we were mostly were BKs. So we need to understand each other's sanskar, then go along well. So that has been a tremendous, I would say, opportunity for me to look after my own self, and also pay attention to my difficulties, my deficiencies, my shortcomings. So that is itself is a, I would say, opportunity to grow and evolve. So that now I feel very comfortable. Initial years were a bit difficult, but now I feel, it is basically as Baba says, that once you grow, you look after your own self, you increase your inner strength, then everything becomes easy. So that's what I feel. This has been an opportunity first learning from the senior, then also looking within and learning from your brothers and sisters, the Brahmin family, which is so sweet and most, I would say, like most fortunate that you have that company. But company also, you need to pay attention on your own self. So I feel it's a good that you feel that you are among us people who are again striving to perfection, and you also join them in that journey. Today morning also we had nice early morning meditation. We all got up at 2:30, and then
Ah,
we had collective meditation. One Sunday we do it, and then we read Murli together. So that makes a lot of difference.
yeah.
Being together, sharing Baba's Murli points. The moment you meet a BK, your face sparkles. So
Indeed,
that is a real opportunity. It's a blessing to be in Madhuban.
right, right. You know, when I walk into the hospital and I walk past Baba's room and I see people coming in and out, patients, people coming, visiting the hospital, some staff members, it is such a, I just love to see that we have Baba's room there. Then we can walk into the kitchen, you know, when we're doing some checkup, we can go and have breakfast. Then we also, of course, we get invited to the celebrations. It's such a unique, lovely, lovely place. Uh, Dr. Pratap, tell me, when you faced some difficulty, whether it was with with the staff, whether it was, you know, challenging moments of the hospital, in what way did Daddy G in particular help you? How did she help you through that?
So I would say, we were so close to Dadi in the evening when we go to Madhuban after meditation or before meditation. Dadi would be in the office, that we used to call Ishu Dadi's office, and Dadi would be
Yes.
sitting there. We would go and just walk in, and she was so lovely, so caring that we could walk in without even asking her that we are coming to her. And Dadi used to support. I remember, once the Bhandara people told me that Dadi was meeting them, and Dadi said, "Oh, Pratapa is gone very weak. You must take care of him." Provided some butter and something like that. And Dadi shared with them without my knowledge. And when I go to dining hall, we are looked after so well. So it's like motherly care she gave. But I would say, when she would give class, because after when I then we most of us were new to the yajna, and one day in 92 we decided that we want to be included as Madhuban Nivasis. We went to
Yeah.
Dadi and
Yeah.
told Dadi, and Dadi first was saying, no, 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 you should look after the hospital. How can you be Madhuban Nivasi? Dadi said, we persuaded Dadi, and I think first batch was about 15 people. We got surrendered, and we were finally taken as Madhuban Nivasis. So it's like sense of belonging. You felt
Right.
that you belong to the yajna, and you are doing whatever you are going to do. You're doing for the yajna. And I would say we had all the comforts, we had all the care, but we knew that we are using it not only for our own comfort, but for the comfort of the Brahmin family. So it was good. Dadi would give personal attention to us, and Dadi would definitely make it a point that she would even visit our living areas. She would suddenly walk into and see how we are living,
Ah,
what do we really need, and all that. That is what Dadi is. It was like family. She
right.
would be there with us, and being head of the organization, it was such an honor that she would pay small attention to our comforts.
Right, right. And now the month of August is also, we are remembering our very, very, very dear brother Nirvair, who was your
Mhm.
good friend and an inspiration to you. It was so lovely to see you together. It was like, it was, you were so, so, so close. I remember that a lot. So, what was the gift of Brother Nirvair in your life? What is the legacy you have treasured in your heart from being with him?
See, the one thing which always struck me about Nevabai was his positivity.
Mm.
He was positive to, you can say, to whatever extent, even when we
Right.
used to have discussions together also, that in a negative situation he would find positivity. He would inspire us. Even when things happen not so good, he would sit with us, support us, care about us. His positivity was marvelous. Sometimes I would say this person is not good. Once, there was an eye specialist, which was Nivabai's friend. Brijmon Bhai came and he told me, no, no, this person is not suitable for BK environment. I said, why don't you speak to Nivabai yourself? He said, no, Nivabai cannot think anything but positive. So
Ah,
he said, you go and tell him. So, and the other thing about was he was very compassionate. He would look after everyone. Anyone would go to him with any health issues, he would make it, kind of special care about him. If he required care at the hospital, he would ask me to provide. Even if he was to be taken to Ahmedabad or any other place, Banarsi Bhai would be instructed. And then he had such strong faith in Baba. Whenever we would say, how would we do this project? We don't have such resources. He would say, Baba would provide. You just start it. So we did so many projects together, like, the hospitals which we started. We built a hospital in Kutch when the earthquake came. He was always supportive. And he would say money would flow, but you should have good intention to serve. So he would pay more on our intention, our purity of thought, and that he would tell us. And he would share his experiences with Sakar Baba, that how Baba was so positive. And once he shared his story with me, he says, Dadi Pushpanta, he gave him some money to buy fruits. And he went to the market, and there someone was saying that you can multiply your money, throw this ring, and all that. And he said, why shouldn't I try it? He lost all the money. And then he came to Baba and he told Baba, I have lost all money. Baba said, don't worry, child. People lose so much money in the racing and other thing. But then he said, don't repeat this. So he would also tell us by sharing stories of
wow.
Sakar Baba, inspire us all the time, encourage us, and support us. That was his beauty. And till the last moment I saw, he would think of serving others. And while lying on the bed, also he would think. He started sharing that we should have a multi-specialty hospital, neurology, cardiology. Every time he would repeat, whosoever would go to him, we should have a 250-bedded hospital. So, in the last days also, before he went to Ahmedabad on 26th of August, it was Janamashtami. He said, no, we must make the coconut breaking ceremony of the hospital. And it was such muddy area. We made the wooden planks, and then and he himself came, Brijmon Bhai came, Shashiben came, and all that. We broke the coconut ceremony on 26th of August, and 19th of September he left us and went to Baba's lap. And this is how his determination was.
Right. So that
And now we
hospital
are,
will be built.
no, we have already submitted the plans, and plans should likely to be approved in next couple of weeks, and then we start the construction.
Wow.
And what we have done is, before even starting the new hospital, we have started creating specialties in the existing hospital. Like now we
Mm.
have a neurosurgeon, we have a urologist, we are
Wow.
planning to get a neurologist, so that when the new hospital is ready, already the service is created, the environment is created.
Amazing, amazing. So
He was
interesting.
very powerful, very
Really,
powerful. Whatever he
really.
would say, it would happen.
Yeah, yeah. His words were like blessings, eh? And
Right.
absolutely guaranteed. Absolutely. Yeah. I always went to him saying, Nirvana, once something was accomplished, what is Baba dropping into your unlimited intellect?
Hmm.
What's next? What's going to happen next? So it was really interesting. My last question, Dr. Pratap, because our time has flown, is that you have had that very unique part of accompanying as a professional and as a senior brother all our daddies all the way through and out as angels. You've seen them all become karmatit and serve till their very last breath. You've been there like an angel for them, by their side, taking care, working with the doctors. You know, whenever we hear of our seniors, it was always from you. So, what was your experience of, in this moment with all these giants, angels, our spiritual
Everyone, I
heads?
would say, they're marvelous. Most of the time they would be cheerful, smiling, in spite of the fact that they were not so well physically, but their stage was marvelous. I remember Dadi Prakashmani. She, when in the last day, sometimes she would forget my name. So then I would laugh with her, give her four names, and then she would select the right name. So, they were so clear. What is their goal? She would remember. In the kind, I would say, the final stage was like being karmati, beyond the effect of action. And they were so stable. Even Dadi Janki, in the last days when she was in hospital, whenever I would go to her, she would just open her arms and would ask me to hug. And I would stay because I was coming from the hospital and those were COVID days. I would try to stay away, but she would be smiling and she may not speak a word, but her face would be full of energy. And she was
Right,
looking and she was not conveying anything, I would say verbally, but her magic, her drishti was so powerful. And then with Gulzar Dadi, I was also with her at the last time. And she was so peaceful and so quiet and peacefully she left this physical costume and flew. And it is remarkable. I had seen Dadi Gulzar even during her chemotherapy and other thing. She would be so quiet whenever I would ask her anything, how are you, Dadi? She would just smile and she would say, I'm feeling good. Even, she would give good drishti. Last time I went, I took the hospital report to Dadi Gulzar and she saw it with full attention. She was looking at and she would take interest in everything, but would speak very little. Dadi was very, no, when I look at Dadi Gulzar, I would be reliving my experience with the mama. Mama was also very serene and quiet. She would only speak when it was must to speak. And Dadi Gulzar was also like that. Once I told Dadi Gulzar, I still remember, I said, Dadi, now I need a change of seva. I can't work in hospital. Dadi listened to me with attention and she said only one word. You create someone like you and then you think of quitting.
hey.
So it's so magical. Dadi is even, working with Brijmon Bhai, Neve Bhai, and Ramesh Bhai. It is all I would say is learning smaller thing. Brijmon Bhai once told me, if you increase your capabilities, he said in Hindi, that you increase your skills, seva would come to you. You don't have to run after seva.
Right, right.
So it's lovely. Nivebe would always say that relax, don't feel any pressure. Everything would happen in its due course.
Sure.
And he was so graceful and so dignified, Nivebe. So all these souls are just, I was sharing with someone, I said, these souls, if you just look at their personal qualities or personal values, you feel they had achieved, accomplished something, and they were so natural in those values. There was nothing that they were making any effort, but they were so natural in their dadis and senior brothers whom I've seen closely. It had become their nature.
Absolutely. They were the embodiments. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Pratap. Just listening to your story and your interaction with all the daddies and the dadas is just also interesting about your own drama, how that fortune of being with them, being Baba's instrument for the hospital, and being in Madhuban as a Madhuban Nivasi, how that prepared you for your current role. You're now an additional Secretary General, right? So you have this responsibility, but you can see how it was in Baba's plan to feed you and take care of you with this with inspiration of the highest possible care, And now you are providing that for everyone around you, not only in the hospital now, but as a
You know,
yagi
the
as you go, right?
roles are roles, but the one we know that we are, we are lucky to be Baba's children. We are godly student. We are on a journey to perfection. That we
Right,
have to keep in mind. All that
right,
role doing seva is one subject, but the journey of personal perfection is something which
right.
requires attention all the time.
Right. And I know you are a very good student and child of Baba. I mean, I've seen you, I've met you, I've seen you, your story. I've been, as someone who comes to the hospital, heard you, met you, but it's such a wonder to see also how each one grows as an instrument in what Baba, a role is a role, but it's also because the soul has developed to such an extent its spiritual vision and power and capacity to to benefit in such an unlimited way, so congratulations for that, and I'm sure everybody must be appreciating, especially at the hospital, to have you in playing a bigger part as well, no? So, Dr. Pratap, thank you so much for your time. And I know it's late in India. It's my midday in Argentina, but late for you. So, thank you for your time. And I'm sure all the Latino family is going to really enjoy having met you and knowing about this amazing, amazing hospital, which we all come to and love. So, thank you very, very much. We might close with just a minute of your drishti.